From being an artist to modeling for 3 years, living all around the world, to now having her own business, serving some of the biggest A-listers around the world. I am very pleased to introduce Lillie Bernie of The Glitter Store.
I was working as part-time at a gym doing front of house so I could pay for the studio. It wasn't like, it was just, I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. It wasn't asking my parents, oh, can you pay for these sort of things so that I can get there, you know? And I think that is really important because it makes you push yourself a lot harder. So I went to galleries for representation and I was sort of getting the same responses, which was, you need to go back to art school. No one's going to take you seriously. You're a model. You don't understand the art world. And that wasn't just once, that was consistently. And to be honest, it made me really think about what I wanted, because I was like, I do want to be taken seriously, and I'm not defined by the way that I look, but then also I do really like putting pictures on Instagram where I like my outfits, or I'm in a bikini and I want to post a bikini pic. Like, why shouldn't I do that if I want to do that? My favorite event that I was at was the Kathy Hilton Christmas party, which was incredible, and also an event that they did with Ruggables, which was great. I've also done, I did Fenty, which was great. Yeah, Fenty, Moschino, Too Faced makeup. My whole life I've really just focused on myself, and like, although it's very easy to get distracted by what other people are doing, every time I've like come back to me and who I am and what feels right for me, and that has led me down this path of really feeling that I'm living the life that I'm supposed to. And I want young girls, but also, I mean, my product's actually for anybody, but I want young girls to be doing this as a hobby, and for it to be like a well-known brand in like a young family's home.
My name is Claudia Green, and this is She Did That, the podcast shining a spotlight on remarkable women who are breaking barriers and proving that greatness knows no gender. From female founders who have raised millions of pounds, the investors changing the landscape as we know it, to survivors of tragedy who have achieved the amazing, and many more. We will share the stories of these incredible women who will inspire and empower you. In order to support us and these women, please subscribe on your viewing or listening channel of choice so we can continue our mission of sharing the stories that should and need to be heard.
My next guest today is somewhat of an accidental entrepreneur. From being an artist to modeling for 3 years, living all around the world, to now having her own business, serving some of the biggest A-listers around the world. She has an inspiring story of how you can take something negative and make it into something absolutely incredible and sparkly. I am very pleased to introduce Lillie Bernie of The Glitter Store. Lillie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You've been on my radar for a while. I think I was TikTok stalking you for quite a long time. Yeah. It must be like a couple of years.
No way.
It's from the early...
Oh my God. I don't know what I was posting a couple of years ago.
No, do you know what? It's because every married friend I have and my cousins, they all have one of your prints in their house. And I'll be like, oh, is that Lillie Bernie? And they're like, oh yeah, how'd you know? And I was
no way.
Everyone's got one.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so I'd heard of you a long time, and then I saw your TikTok story where you told everyone about the story of how you started your business. But we'll get to that in a second. I always ask every guest to give a bit of background about you, upbringing, education, all the things that happened before entrepreneur you. So give me a little bit of a background on you.
Okay, so I grew up in London. I was always quite creative as a kid, but never really thought anything more than, I think, just like the average girl who just liked painting and drawing and doing like all those cool craft things that we used to do. And then I actually wanted to be a TV presenter. So I went to Leeds University to study broadcast journalism.
Wow.
Yeah, that was sort of where I saw myself. And then after graduating, I think I just was like, I did a placement at a production company, and it is hard work.
Brutal.
I've
heard it's really brutal.
Like, being a runner is not for the weak. And I did about 15 hours days on set running around. And I was also modeling at the time.
Yeah, because you were a model.
Yeah, so I've been modeling since I was 14 and I was earning like pretty good money. So I thought, why am I working this amount of time when I can do this amount of work in a day and earn the same amount basically that I would for a month on production.
Whoa.
So I decided to go full-time modeling and did that for about 3 years. And then we had a painting on my wall at my house, my family house, and people would always comment on it. So my dad said, why don't you start painting again? So I just basically picked up some paintbrushes and then my abstract painting career began.
Oh my goodness. Okay, go back to the modeling. You did it for 3 years.
Yeah.
What kind of brands did you work with? What kind of modeling? I know nothing about modeling.
So I was full-time for about 3 years and I did my best job I think was a Nivea campaign, which was really cool. Yeah, lots of beauty and hair and fashion things. I used to travel quite a lot with modeling as well. Like I lived in Athens for 2 months. I lived in Barcelona for a month. Wow. Yeah, it was like a lot of fun.
That's incredible. But like, obviously, there's the other side of the industry as well. Did you feel a lot of pressure to always look perfect?
Do you know what? A lot of people ask me that. And I think it's obviously not nice being critiqued on the way that you look every day. But I do think girls in general critique themselves. I don't think I'm any different to any other girl. I do think there's definitely, when I was modeling, there was a weight situation where we would have to get measured in the agency.
What, they'd measure you to check you hadn't gained weight?
Yeah.
But that's so toxic.
Measure your hip measurements, measure your waist measurements, and they'd always be like, you're not the right measurement, get down, get down, get down. So yeah, that wasn't nice. But I think you become so used to it that you're just like, it's part of the job, which is also like kind of messed up, isn't it?
Yeah, that you get used to someone saying you're an inch over or something.
Yeah. So one time when I was modeling in Barcelona, they brought me into the agency and they zoomed in on my legs and they were like, don't wear shorts to castings anymore because it makes your legs look fat.
Oh, they're just comfortable completely just coming out of it.
I will say I don't think the modeling industry is like that anymore. I think that it's changed a lot because now we have like plus size modeling, curve, everything really. They want all inclusivity. It's kind of in fashion now.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like that anymore. But when I was modeling, it definitely was.
Did that affect like your eating habits then as well?
Yeah, I would say I was always conscious of what I ate. And actually now I'm so like, it made me realize how unhealthy I was because now I don't even think about it. I'm like, if I want to eat, I eat. If I don't want to eat, I don't eat. Whereas before I was like so conscious all the time because they make you think about your body all the time. So yeah, I would say that's a really unhealthy thing about modeling. But in the same breath, I never had like my self-worth was never on the way I looked. And I think that's a lot to do with the way I got brought up and like who my friends were, is that it was very normal. It wasn't about what I was doing as a job. It was just like, it just felt very normal, if that makes sense.
And your sister's a model as well?
Yeah, my sister's a model as well.
Okay, so the good looks run in the family. I want to know what your parents look like.
Yeah, but my mum is a fashion stylist and my dad's a hairdresser.
Wow.
So I was like, we all were in like this industry. So it just was normal. It didn't feel like anything but that. Do you know?
You sound like a very cool family.
My parents are really cool. They actually are.
I love that. Okay, so you modeled full-time for 3 years, made some good money, picked up your paintbrush again.
Yeah.
Was that weird? Like, presumably you hadn't really considered art as a career. You just was something you loved and were quite good at.
Do you know what's really amazing about being 22 is that, well, for me, I had no fear. So everything I did was just out of, I fancy doing this today. I'm going to do this. And I do think I am still like that, but it's more thought out than when I was younger. So I was like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. I should start painting. I'm going to get a studio. Then like a month later, I had a studio and I was like, and I also couldn't afford any of that. Then I was working as part-time at a gym doing front of house so I could pay for the studio. It wasn't like, it was just, I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. It wasn't, asking my parents, oh, can you pay for these sort of things so that I can get there, you know? And I think that is really important because it makes you push yourself a lot harder.
Yeah, I think there's often a really unfair assumption on people, because when people see the social media and the optics and they see this person's got a studio or this person's got office space or whatever it is, they assume someone's helped them do that. When often they don't see the unglamorous behind the scenes of the hustle going on to make that happen.
Exactly. And I was obviously you never show on Instagram. I mean, now I would say it's completely different because on TikTok, everyone's super honest. But when I was doing it at the time, I was getting up at 5 a.m. to go and work front of house at a gym till 9 a.m. And by Wednesday, I was so tired that, I was in my studio, but I was like asleep on the floor.
Oh my God. Okay, well, props to you for the grind.
So yeah, but it makes it all so much worth it, doesn't it? When you get a little step further, you're like, okay, that's why I did that. And now I appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's nothing wrong with the people that got help either. I think we live in a society where it's almost sort of not applauded when it's like, oh, well, you had some help. But like, what parent wouldn't help their child if they can?
Of course.
So I think it should be accepted that if you've achieved something, you've achieved it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you had some help that made it a little bit easier at the beginning.
Yeah, and of course, like everybody's situation is so different. Like I had a roof over my head and I didn't pay rent. Like I had that help. So
yeah,
some people don't even get that. So I guess it's different for everybody.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from what you achieve in the end, which I think is an important thing for sure.
Yeah.
Especially on this podcast, you get so many different types of guests from so many walks of life. Some come from council housing who had to collect glasses for their local pub to make money and collect scrap. And then you've got people who come from privileged backgrounds internationally, came over, had university paid for. That's okay. Like it's, either is absolutely
every situation's so different.
Exactly. So I want to hear about the story about how the glitter store started.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, take me back.
Okay, so after painting, so I did these huge abstract multimedia paintings, and I naturally thought, well, how am I going to sell them after I've used my network of people? What's next? So I went to galleries for representation, and I was sort of getting the same responses, which was, you need to go back to art school. No one's going to take you seriously. You're a model. You don't understand the art world. And that wasn't just once, that was consistently. And to be honest, it made me really think about what I wanted, because I was like, I do want to be taken seriously, and I'm not defined by the way that I look. But then also I do really like putting pictures on Instagram where I like my outfits, or I'm in a bikini and I want to post a bikini pic. Like, why shouldn't I do that if I want to do that? So then after hearing this feedback and thinking about it for a while, I was like, I'm going to make art out of modeling photos. So I actually got my best friend Montana and covered her in diamond paint.
Oh,
and
her actual body.
Her actual body in paint. And then I was watching it, and then I had a photographer shoot it, because I was like, I'm going to make these glitter girls that can do whatever they want to do. And that is the story behind the art.
Yeah.
And I was watching her shoot it, and I was like, I want to do it. So I was like, this isn't fair. I want to do it. So I was like to the makeup artist, can you paint me as well? And then we did that shoot together. And then for her wedding present, I blew it up and painted on top of it and added the diamond effect that I do today on top of it. So then COVID happened. That was the end of that. And then COVID happened, and another one of my friends, Gemma, said to me, that picture that you made, would you be able to do that for me on one of my wedding photos?
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So I covered her wedding photos in like the glitter effect with the paint, and I gave it to her and she loved it. And I was like, I'm going to start this as a business. COVID just had happened, and I was like, no one's going to be booking me as a model. No one's going to be buying expensive paintings. I'm just going to see what happens with this as well. It was at a time where people wanted to send each other things because they obviously couldn't see each other. I was like, this is actually the perfect gift for somebody. And I am finally now in control of what happens with it, which I'd never had experienced before. So I gifted to 5 influencers who I kind of knew, and one of them posted, who was We Are Twin Set.
Yeah.
And I had like 20 orders that day.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I think I've got a business now. And that's how it began.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what is the theft story then?
What bit? What was the theft story?
Someone stole all your paints.
Oh my God, yeah. How do you know about that?
I know everything about you. It's my job.
I'm on Instagram.
It's my job.
I posted that on Instagram.
I know everything.
That was a long time ago that I posted that. Yeah, oh my God. So many crazy stories happened to me, honestly, along the way. And the art world is way more dog eat dog than the modeling world. And
Really?
I actually found it really intimidating, like way more intimidating than being a model. Like I'd been on set, like doing underwear shoots and like had a crew of 20 people and just got on with it. And then you'd go into a meeting with a guy who thinks that they're just like the shit basically. And they try and make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. So that I actually found was really interesting, the difference. But the guy that stole my paints, I don't even know where to begin with the story. I met him actually on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I loved the paintings that he used to do. So I messaged him and I was like, how do you do this? Which I think is an amazing tip for people who don't know what they're doing in any industry. Just reach out to people on Instagram and ask the question, because you just don't know. They might reply and help you.
Yeah.
So this artist told me how he was making his artwork. We became friends, and then I got invited to Miami Basel, where he was showing his work, and they said to me whilst I was there that I could make some paintings. So I go to the studio whilst I was there, and I had a suitcase of paint, and it basically was fully gone, and I had no idea where it was. And I called the artist, and basically he had taken my paints because he had run out. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So I went to his studio, took a big box. He was asleep in bed the next day. So emptying, put my paints into the box. And then I saw this equipment there, which he'd been using. And it was like this glitter, which I'd seen him use on his paintings. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I picked up the box and I put it in. Anyway, as I'm walking out of the house, he's like, Lillie, screaming at me. I turn around, he takes all of my paints out of the box and just leaves me with like 3 paints and the glitter. And I was like so upset, obviously, that someone had done that and screamed at me and blah, blah, blah. Take the equipment back to London. I honestly got home, looked at my equipment, saw the glitter, and I was like, that is the glitter that I now use for my business.
Hang on, so when he took the box back,
yeah,
did you not try and fight back? Like, no, that's mine.
You know what? I knew that I had like overtaken the amount of paint, you know, when you're so angry that I was just like, how dare he take my stuff, and I'm just going to put all that, you know? So I kind of wasn't really supposed to I didn't handle that. You know, I was 22 or 23 and I just didn't handle that in a very like mature or sophisticated way. So him screaming at me, I was more so taken aback that he had seen me and screamed at me that I was just happy to leave. I was like, get me out of here. But everything happens for a reason.
I mean, thanks to the psycho who stole all your paints. But
yeah, because now I have the product, which is my whole business. So
oh my goodness.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I love these stories.
I know.
Tell me more about, so you'd done these pieces of artwork with the glitter for your friends, and you thought, actually, this could work. You'd received your first 20 orders. In your mind, did you kind of start to formulate an idea of what you wanted the business to be like, or were you kind of taking it as it came?
I honestly had no idea. I didn't even think it was going to be a business. Like, I remember showing my friends being like, do you think people would like this? Like, there was no agenda. It was just like, this is nice and cool and fun and I like it. Let's see what happens.
And was there a pivotal moment where you actually thought, okay, this could be a business?
When was that? I don't know. I think that I was just consistently getting sales, and I was like, everything I did was so, what's the word? Like, I just made it up as I went along. I didn't know how to make a website. I couldn't afford someone else to make me a website. So I just did everything by myself. Like, you used to have to email me your photo. So you'd make your order and then you'd email my email address with the photo. There was like no upload button or anything like that. So every step along the way, then I remember like someone saw my website and was like, okay, you got to stop with this email situation. Like, this is so unprofessional. So like every step has been a natural progression, and I've been able to afford the next thing every step. So like, if you ask me this question probably in 5 or 10 years time, I would have no idea that it would have got to that bit. I'm just like, I have a vision, but it's a slow progression.
And what is that vision?
So I really want what I do to become a hobby for not just a career for me, but a hobby that is for other people too. I want to be able to teach people how to make all of their photos sparkle, and the feeling that people get when they open my prints, I want other people to be able to make people feel.
Yeah. Okay, so we're thinking like e-commerce brand vibes.
Yes, well, like I want to be in art stores. I want my brand to be, basically be in all different types of art stores. And also, like, I do a glitter photo booth at events. I want the glitter.
Yeah, we're delving into that in a second. Okay. Right. What are the glitter? How on earth do you make a glitter photo booth work at an event? Because surely that's a bit stressful trying to make it happen.
So how that idea happened was I was doing Facebook ads and I was thinking, this is so expensive. Anyone who has a business knows how awful Facebook ads can be. And you just feel like your money is going down the drain, especially as a small business. It's hard. So I was like, how do I get to as many people as possible to show them what I do? Because I think once people see what I do, they're going to love it. And I was like, right, I need to be at events. And I was like, how do I get the event? How do I make that physically possible? I need a printer and I need people to have their photo. Like, that's sort of how the idea happened. And then I was like, wait, this is actually sick for events. No one's ever seen this before. This could be really cool. So now I have an assistant that helps me. So when we've got massive events, like, she comes with me and she's amazing. And
so you take the photo, so you go into a photo, it's a booth. You go in, you have your photo taken, then
the photo gets passed to me. And then I sparkle it. And then we put it up on a board, or it depends on the event. Sometimes they provide that themselves, where they have like a clip hanging thing.
Are we thinking like a washing line?
Yeah, like a washing line or type vibe, but a bit more chic. And then we clip it on there. It takes about 15 minutes to dry, and then we have envelopes and people can take them home.
That's an incredible thing to give to people from an event.
Like weddings are perfect.
Yes, because it was getting very tired and old to step into a photo booth and have to hold an air guitar and get this tacky cringe photo, or like an inflatable monkey on your head or something, and then it's like all over your house. Not speaking from experience, where it's all over your house and you're like, actually that's not cool. That doesn't look very nice in my lounge.
So now it's like you want to actually keep this photo forever. That's the idea behind it.
I love that. And can we talk about some of the events that you have done for people that people might have heard of?
Yeah, sure. So my favorite event that I was at was the Kathy Hilton Christmas party, which was incredible. And also an event that they did with Ruggables, which was great. I've also done, I did Fenty, which was great. Yeah. Fenty, Moschino, Too Faced makeup. Lots of brands like they're not little.
They are not little.
Lots of brands like that. What else have I done?
Was there something Kardashian-y or Kris Jenner?
Yeah, Kris Jenner. I glittered a photo for Kris Jenner.
You glittered a photo for
her? Which was obviously incredible.
That must be surreal.
Yeah. And actually also I made a print for Paris Hilton, and she was always like my dream to do. When I thought of the photo booth, I actually thought of her. I was like, this is a perfect activation for her. And I made huge prints for their house in Beverly Hills, and that was also epic.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did they put them up?
Well, I hope so. Her husband did tell me they did, but they were, you know,
in contact with her husband.
They were actually meant to, well, not luckily, but they were meant to go to their house in Malibu, but they actually got delivered to their house in Beverly Hills, and thank God, because of what happened. So they were saved, but so that was an amazing experience for sure.
So you've spent a lot of time in Hollywood as well. You're not just the London girl. Well,
I've traveled quite a few places.
All around the world, basically.
Yeah.
That must be incredible to see, because obviously initially you sort of started doing things quite locally within your community. Was it really weird to have complete strangers where it wasn't someone who knew someone who knew someone you knew?
Yeah.
Like a complete stranger become a customer.
Yeah. So the amazing thing that happened was I was doing an event and a girl came up to me and was like, I have one of your prints, which was so cool because I had no idea who she was. Yeah. And my mum as well has walked into someone's house and been like, that's my daughter's. And they're like, no way. So like things like that happen are really special.
Like pinch me.
Yes. I mean, I can't wait to walk into someone's house that I don't know and be like, I did that.
That must be really, 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 really strange.
Yeah.
And you've met a lot of celebrities along the way as well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, watching their reactions when I give them a print, they're like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. Like that's an amazing, amazing feeling.
Are there any celebrities that you gifted? Like you just decided, right, I'm going to make the print. They've not asked for it. They don't know who I am, but I'm just going to send it over to them and see if they put it on Instagram or something.
So the twice, which has happened. So Molly May has actually been bought prints from me.
Oh, paid for.
So yeah, like people have paid for them. So she didn't have any obligation to post, obviously. But she's like one of my dreams for her to be able to post. Yeah. And it's so on brand for her. Oh, yeah. But I could see the print in one of her photos. I'm like, oh my God,
you saw it.
Yeah. Oh. So that was really cool. But I really would love her to post, and I would love her to do something big for her. That would be epic.
Yeah.
Sophia Richie, someone bought her a print for her wedding. Oh. And then she reposted my story. So that was really cool.
Did you just get the photo? You got an order and you were like, I'll just check the photo out, and you're like, hang on a second. That's a famous person.
Yeah, but then you also have to be so careful, don't you? So I was like, if it's not for Instagram, you have to make sure that you can actually share it.
Yeah.
So there's been a few times that I've not been allowed to post about celebrities that I've done events for. And they were incredible, but yeah, you can't post if they're paying you.
That's a bit mean.
I know. Traveling for an event and then not being able to like share it was like hard, but it was an incredible experience. Not everything has to be posted on Instagram.
No, but it definitely elevates and can help propel your business to more success. Like you said, you had 2 influencers who posted, and you got like off the back of that 20 orders straight away, which is incredible. So it just shows you the power of social media.
Yeah, definitely.
How is social media a really important part of your business now?
I mean, it's the most important. I think that every time I think of different ways to grow, I always come back to Instagram being just like the hub of where my audience is. And also having organic reach to people is just amazing, especially because I've been learning a lot about the Facebook ads at the moment. So I just know how much that can drain your cash. And
they add on a load of fees that don't make sense.
Yeah.
It like doubles the amount you're spending. I experienced this. I was like, what have they taken from my account?
Yeah, it's really hard to, also when you don't understand it, it's really hard to monitor it. And you just kind of I felt out of control. So being able to come back to my audience and also just being able to ask them questions like, would you like this? Would you like that? And just feeling like you're actually connected to them is so special.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of like obviously your business is the glitter store.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself, obviously we've talked about how you would want to develop a product where people could use it at home. Do you see, because obviously you're an artist, so you have, your skill set is far wider than just your glitter prints. Do you see a way commercially that you could expand your product range?
Yeah, there's definitely different ideas that I have. Would I go past doing it that's something that's not to do with glitter? I would probably not. Like, I don't feel that's on brand. I feel like I'm creating a glitter world, and that's where I see it being. In everything has got something to do with the glitter. And a lot of people ask me, because I can actually paint. It's not just, you know, it's not just craft. So I do feel sometimes that it's a shame that I'm not doing more of that. But actually, I realized by building this business, I enjoy building something. So I had to choose, basically. What do you want? Like, I remember thinking of this idea, and I said to a friend who's a collector, I said, once I do this, I'm really not going to be taken seriously as like a proper traditional artist. And he was like, do you want to make money, or do you want to like create? And I want to make money. Like, I find it fun building a business and having lots of people have my art, even if it's not seen as traditional art, but having a piece of what I can create in their homes, rather than it sitting in a studio and, you know, until I die and then it makes money.
No, and there's nothing stopping you from doing other artwork in your spare time that are like passion projects. But I think that's really interesting. Do you believe that like it is important, at least at the beginning, to really stick to your niche and try and dominate that and nail that before you start going wild, diversifying? Yeah,
I think that it took me a while to find this. Like, I wasn't, you know, there was many years where I didn't feel that I was in the right career path. And I think that's important to mention, that I cried a lot of like, all my friends have proper jobs and I don't feel like I'm progressing. Like, you know, you model, but you do like one job, then you don't hear for a long time, or then you like make a painting, you sell it, but it's like, there wasn't any, I didn't feel job progression. All I wanted was job progression. And that took me a long time to find. So I think that until you find that thing that really feels like you, then try lots of different things. And then when you find that one thing, just stick to it. Because if I was now, you know, doing my abstract paintings instead of like sitting on TikTok trying to think of like new ideas of what I wanted to post, which sounds so trivial, but actually it's really important, then I think I would get distracted.
Yeah, that's true, because there are a lot of facets to running a business, but then also I think people don't realize that if your revenue stream is coming from socials, whether it's paid socials, organic socials, that's a lot of energy and time and creativity in itself to think of what are you going to do? What's going to be the next big thing? And I think it's like still very unknown, like what works.
Exactly. I do think it's also so important to, if you have a business and you want to create an audience on Instagram and TikTok, then you have to understand how the app works and like understand what works and what doesn't work. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, and how different videos I can then use what someone else does into my concepts. And I think that, it's really important.
Do things like keywords really help? Or is that a waste, like hashtags? Do they?
Hashtags on TikTok, not hashtags on Instagram, I think. But I mean, this is what I go, but I'm not. No,
but you've had some pretty viral video. What's been your most viral video?
I don't know what it's at now, but when I last looked, I had a video on like 18 million.
18 million? Oh my God.
It's because the once you find the formula of what works for you and you repeat that, that's when you start seeing your following grow.
So sometimes it's actually even just the simple day-to-day stuff that people actually want to see. They don't need to see like the fanciest paid for shoot.
No. I actually think it's the opposite. I think people want to see raw footage and not over-edited. Like any time I've done a video that looks really highly edited, it hasn't performed that well.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot as well. But I think that's why TikTok's an interesting one. It's great because you can be more raw and real. But then it's also like, do I just open my camera in my pajamas and start yapping? Like,
yeah. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think I'm telling people too many things.
No, but I think it's definitely gone a lot. You've seen other business founders, like, let's use Amy Smale.
Yeah, she's incredible.
She's shared her formula. She has been like very transparent with how she started the business, the journey. You know, she's pretty transparent when it comes to what she does and her struggles as well. And I do think, yes, she gets some backlash for that because there's always going to be someone's going to have a keyboard Karen. But for the most part, people have loved that and feel like when they're buying one of her pieces, is that they knew the journey that went into it, and they kind of love that. And I think when people buy stuff now, they really want to know the story behind it and the mission. You don't want just a faceless item.
Definitely. I also used to think that, and sometimes it still does, because people, for my business, it's difficult. Well, I guess everyone has copycats, right? So
you must have a lot of people trying to copy you.
So that's why
there are a lot of people
trying to copy me. But what I keep getting told, and what is true, is that no one will have the eye of how I want to brand the business like I do, because no one is me. And so that's the only, like, the same with, I think, Amy. She gets upset when, like, the fast fashion brands copy her. It is horrible as a small business when that happens.
If you're a designer or an artist, it must be.
Yeah, but that's why I was like, I actually, these people can copy me, but I actually want to be the teacher of that. Like, I want you to copy me,
but I want you to do it right and learn from me.
You having a product is one thing, but having the ability to build a business is
an entirely different thing.
Bringing your audience on that journey with you, like having people feel connected to you, even if it's through Instagram, so that when stuff like that does happen, you feel emotional about it. You feel
passionate about it, being like, this is a copy. Half the time when people see copies, it's people you don't know sending them to you, being like, oh, FYI, I love your work, but someone's trying to do something similar. I actually went to an event this week, and it was all about cultivating culture from a marketing perspective. So it's like looking at your current customers and how you can, not just always looking at new customer acquisition, but there's a lot to be said for having a very loyal following, because you can buy gifts, they can become your customer 100 times over if they've decided, like, I love this. And it was all about how you harness your current customer base. And the things you can do with them and the things you can include and involve them in that will make them keep coming back and being those repeat customers, which I think is really interesting. But you've also got the people who have never been your customers, but are watching from the sidelines and kind of cheerleading on. Or, someone said to me, I need to buy a present for someone's wedding. And I was like, oh, why don't you look at
That's so cool.
Why don't you look at the glitter store? Because it's a really cool present to give. It's really cute. They're like, oh, have you ever bought from there? I was like, so I haven't actually, just because I'm old. So everyone got married already. But I
baby gifts too.
Baby gifts is a good one. Those are all coming. Yeah. So, but I still recommended it. So there's
that's really cool.
Like harnessing your audience, not necessarily even your customer base, but your audience. There's a lot to be said for.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, because that is really, really
You're
kind
welcome
of you.
for the 3 prints you had out of it.
No, but like still, it is really cool when I hear that, because you never know. I'm just doing my job, but then you don't know what goes on with the people that you don't know, and like the groups of people, the conversations that are being had. So I really appreciate that.
So moving on to the hard parts of business, because I think there are so many aspiring entrepreneurs, and because it's a female focused business podcast, we are going to focus on the females. I'm not trying to discriminate, but we're talking about our ladies. And I have met a huge number through this podcast and cultivating a network of people who have an idea and just are nervous and have never executed on it. And sometimes their incredible ideas. What is your advice to someone who has an idea, thinks it could be feasible from a business perspective, but is frightened? Whether it's frightened, what will other people think? What if I fail? What is your advice to those women?
Well, I would say if you're worried about what other people think, then you definitely shouldn't be. Like, no one cares as much as you care about yourself. That's the first thing I will say. Like, no one's thinking about you more than you. And I think that's really important to remember, because at the end of the day, no one cares. Like, yes, if people have something horrible to say as well, that just honestly says so much more about them than it does about you.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are influencers who were posting like maybe a little bit cringe at the beginning and now are absolutely smashing it, and everyone's like, oh my, like, you know, the tables turn when you're actually doing really well. But yes, maybe you've got to get through that tiny awkward stage at the beginning when people are like, what are they doing? But a lot of times people are just jealous because they don't have the confidence to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And also they don't have an idea that maybe is getting them out of the shitty job that they're doing. So I would just say focus on your own lane. Like, my whole life, I've really, really just focused on myself. And like, although it's very easy to get distracted by what other people are doing, every time I've like come back to me and who I am and what feels right for me. And that has led me down this path of really feeling that I'm living the life that I'm supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, even this podcast, I was thinking of doing it for about a year before I actually started it. And then, and you think wild things. You think, okay, I'm a single girl. Maybe people won't want to date me if they see my podcast and they think, oh, that's cringe. They won't want to date me. And then I could affect the trajectory of the rest of my life. And I just got to this point. I think it was hitting 30 was sort of my point. And I thought, oh, do you know, I don't want them then. Like, I want a cheerleader, male cheerleader. Yeah. I want a cheerleader who is like, you go, what guest have you got this week? Yeah. And is championing it. And then I thought, you know, the girls with their WhatsApp groups. And I thought, that's fine. If you want to take the piss out of me, I'm okay with that, because you're viewing my video. You're giving me an extra view. Yeah. You know, if you want to take it to the next level and really spread it, oh, look what a cringe video. That's okay for me, because my friends are honest with me. Exactly. And they support me. And I think we, as anyone, men, women, whoever, need to get into this mindset of, it might feel at the beginning, but think of where it could go at the end. Like you said, your friends. They might have had 600 followers and they're posting videos about their lives, and probably people are saying, who cares about this person's life or what they made for dinner? But now 300,000 people really care what they made for dinner. And they're making a lot of money out of it.
I mean, I'm sure people were saying things about, wait, she's painting, like she made this painting. Like, I'm sure they had a comment about that, or like, wait, so she's doing these glittered photos. Like I know people said things about me at the beginning, but like, honestly, I really just, whatever. Like, who cares?
Well, you're laughing now, aren't you?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think, people are always going to have something to say, aren't they? So like, why would you stop your life because of what other people think? Like, if you truly believe that what you're supposed to be doing is like this idea in your head, then just go for it.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said for the saying of, I'm going to try and remember the exact saying. It's like, essentially, it takes a special kind of evil woman to not support other women. Yeah. Because I think if you, particularly from if you're also a business owner, take a step back. Instead of looking at that person starting and saying, oh, shame, you know, that's a bit embarrassing. You might have wisdom to impart on them. You might have people to introduce them to. Exactly. And, you know, I get loads of messages saying, look, I saw that you know this person. Is there any way you could introduce me? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? It's one email to me that could mean something huge for you. Yeah. Like, we should be elevating each other and supporting each other. Definitely. And not feeling threatened, because
we all need
no one is you.
No. And also everyone needs to help each other, don't they?
Precisely. You might repost this podcast and I might get 100 extra followers out of it. Then I might be able to monetize an ad.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. Or you might say, okay, I didn't know you knew this person. Please introduce me. This could really help.
Exactly.
I could do an interesting collaboration with this person. Do you mind just making the intro? Who knows? One email could lead to, or one repost could lead to everything. So I'm very about women supporting other women.
Definitely. It's all about connections, and I get so much joy out of being able to connect people because amazing things can happen. So
yeah,
it's really important.
Absolutely. And this might be a difficult question to answer because you might not know the answer yet.
Okay.
In 10 years' time, when people are talking about you from a business perspective in terms of your achievements, what are some of the things you would like to either have achieved, and that can be financially as well. I don't ever want anyone to be afraid to say, I want to make my first million. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Why are we running businesses and running ourselves into the ground? But anything in 10 years' time that you want to be regarded as, or a milestone that you want to have reached?
Yeah, I think financially is more just to make sure that I always feel comfortable. I think that's just really important. I don't actually feel like I think from not earning money at the beginning of my career and really having to think about things that I bought before I bought them, I just really hope that my career continues so that that's never ever an issue again, which I just think is what most people want out of life anyway.
Yeah.
But I would love the glitter store to be I want to have a physical store somewhere.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and I want young girls, but also, I mean, my product's actually for anybody, but I want young girls to be doing this as a hobby. And for it to be a well-known brand in a young family's home. Yeah. That's what I would love.
So we're thinking retail. Retail items.
I want it to be a hobby that people know about and do.
And they can buy the kit.
They can buy the kit. So what are those hammer beads? Do you remember those? That we used to do the hammer and your mum would iron it on and then and the Scooby Doos. I want it to be a craft that every girl wants and has in their home. That's my dream.
I think they'd love it though. As in, even if I'm thinking, I don't know what age demographic you're thinking, but even if I think of some of my friends' kids. Yeah. And some of them are 5 or 6 years old now. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. They would be beside themselves to be able to.
I mean, it's funny.
Glitter.
Yeah. So even I'm doing a workshop for a hen where I'm going to their hen to show them all how to glitter their photos and make a hen book with those pictures.
Oh my God, I love that. A full workshop.
Yeah. So to develop the workshops and then have it in physical stores and basically just sparkling the world in glitter.
Spreading your glitter everywhere. I love that. Well, I love your story. I can't wait to see how many more celebs that you post. No, I can't wait to see how the business grows.
Thank you.
Getting your products out there and seeing it grow from there.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for sharing all your wisdom. And I think watch this space when it comes to the world of glitter.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Lillie.